And the session is recording. Welcome to your X Factor training, everyone. Woohoo! We are ramping up to cover a topic that will help you take actions that you know that you need to take or you want to take, and it doesn't necessarily just impact your Team United business. It could be any area of your life. We are also going to talk about things that will help you be more creative, be more of a problem solver, be more of an imaginative thinker, come with creative ideas so that you can have an exploding business in 2014. I will be having a subject matter expert as well join us shortly in our training. And what I want you guys to do is I want to make sure that you guys have something to take notes on, paper, pad, books, pen, pencils, whatever it is, ink pots. I don't know if you guys use ink pots, and be ready to take notes. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to play a video just now. It's about 7 minutes or so, and I really want you to watch it very carefully. And in that video is a clue on what is our topic of the training today, okay? So I want you to make notes on that video, find out what were the results of the experiment that was taking place, and see whatever you derive from it, okay, whatever, and then we'll come together and we'll do a bit of a participation. So let's do, let me share this with you, and the video is going to play in just a moment. Okay, here it comes.
Would you like some snacks?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yes, exactly. Would you like any snacks or any?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, go for it then. By all means. In order to be happy, you need to be successful. Thank you. If you work hard, if you're good enough, eventually your efforts are going to be recognized and rewarded. Well, what if I told you you had it backwards? That being successful doesn't lead to happiness, but rather, happiness leads to success. You need a minute to process that? It's fine. I'll wait. It's true. Happy people are better at problem solving, figuring out new options, and being creative. Statistically, happy people perform better with marriage, friendships, income, work performance, and health. I kid you not, someone somewhere figured that out. I don't know them, but here. We wanted to see if we could prove it ourselves here in our lab. We gathered a selection of volunteers and we split them into two groups, a control group and an experimental group. For the experimental group, we tried to change their mood with something called positive affectivity. That's science for we affected them positively. Would you like some snacks? Would you like any snacks or any?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, go for it then. By all means. We have a video queued up for you that we'd like you to check out.
Okay.
Yeah. We'd also like to thank you for coming in and sharing your time with us, so we'd like to offer you a gift card.
Sweet.
Yeah, a gift card for you as another, yes, token of our appreciation. For the control group, we gave them nothing. Then we gave everybody the same problem-solving exercise. We gave everybody 10 minutes. We have a little puzzle for you.
Okay.
So we have this corkboard and a candle and a box. And inside this box are tacks and matches. Your puzzle, should you choose to accept it, is keeping this corkboard upright. You have to somehow affix this candle to the board in such a way that when you light it and let it run down completely, none of the wax would drip on the table, on the support, the floor, anything like that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Anywhere on the corkboard?
Am I okay to still eat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right. When should I begin?
Now. So, would the group we put in a good mood perform better than the control group? Let's find out.
I don't know how long this is going to take.
There's not going to be win or anything like it's just
No,
nothing
we're
crazy
not-
like that.
We're
Okay.
not going to submit it through like structural tests or anything.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
any like Jeopardy music or something.
But it's okay to keep on the board.
The board itself, the corkboard?
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
It's going to dissipate.
Can I tear this?
Yeah.
I can use a box too, right?
Let me see that candle burning. Yeah, you got it. Way to go.
Yay!
You melted the wax and stuck it directly on the corkboard. It's creative. I will give you that. It is not the answer.
What do you mean?
Well, if you were to light this, if the candle were to melt down,
Yeah, that's going to happen however you do it.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You got it.
I got it.
Woo! Whoa, that was close. That
Really?
was a buzzer beater. It's definitely interesting. I think I'm safe in saying the simplest solution we've seen all day. This satisfies all the requirements that we gave you.
Yes.
Definitely. Congratulations.
Just don't touch it.
Yeah,
I
let
wasn't
me
gonna roll.
very carefully.
I don't want to burn the place down.
Well, what do we have here?
Nothing.
No, it's. I wouldn't say that. Do you feel like you're better at coming up with different options when you're in a good mood?
I would say so. My mind is just more expanded when I'm in a good mood. It kind of helps me to just breathe and think about it more instead of just trying to like force it to get done.
Do you think success leads to happiness or happiness leads to success?
The age-old question. Success is when, or preparation meets opportunity. So to answer your question, I think it's all relevant in terms of success. Everybody has their own opinion what success is.
Does success lead to happiness or does happiness lead to success?
Obviously, if you're happy, then you're probably going to be more successful. And everybody has a different definition of success. So if you're happy and you're doing what you love, hey, you're successful. So it depends on your own definition of success. So I think happiness has to come first.
Do you think success leads to happiness or happiness leads to success?
If you're happier, you probably think more clearly, more optimistically, and then you have better chances at success.
What are the results? We found that the group we subjected to positive affectivity, on average, solved it 14% faster than the control group. Now, there's no way to know for sure if the people we brought in for our experimental group were just naturally better problem solvers to begin with. Plus, we had a very small sample size, so the results aren't bulletproof. But take it for what it's worth. In fact, I'll even let you in on a little secret. I'm not a real scientist. Felt good to get that off my chest. So, go on then. Be happy.
What if we're not happy?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because I actually have 4 episodes down here that can help you flip the switch. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
So pancake.
Welcome back to the call. All right, so let me get this video rearranged a little bit over here. I love this platform. I mean, there's just so much flexibility here. Let me expand this so that you have me all over your computers. Woohoo! Hello! And increase this chat box. And here we go. All right, here we go. Excellent. All right, guys. So please share with everybody. What is it that you've seen in that video? What have you picked up from watching that video. And again, there are no right or wrong answers. I just simply want you to just share whatever it is that you may have picked up from that video. Okay, and I'll be watching for your answers right here. All right, so we've got creativity. Welcome, Orfeo. Yes, welcome, Orfeo. Don't worry, be happy. Okay. Thinking outside the box. Okay. Happy people are better at everything. Marissa, food makes people happy. All right. And happy people are better at everything. Okay, perfect. I hope you enjoyed that video. I actually just came across it earlier today, and it kind of got me thinking that, you know, you and I, and inside of this Team United as well, I mean, there are so many things that we already know. You know, and I've used this line before as well, that collectively all of the people that we have on this call, including myself and add a few people from my household as well, collectively we know a lot, right? We know a lot. But knowing doesn't make a difference whether or not we actually do something about it, right? So you could be, and Orfeo here is a martial artist, so I'll maybe use that example. You know, knowing that, you know, I can read a book and I know how to do a kick, right? Here, yeah, you know, I have to do that, right? Do all of that stuff. But knowing it may not be necessary for me to be able to compete at a, you know, at a professional level against somebody who's dedicated to their art. Every single day they get up and they do their thing, they do their thing, they do their thing, and they prepare themselves for that action or that event or that result that they want to produce, right? So knowing is not enough, but sometimes we get into a trap of, I don't know how. I don't know how to do this, right? Well, that's where you have all of the strategies. The Team United training tool is the best tool that we have in teaching every single thing that we talk about. There's nothing that I'm going to talk about today that's not inside of the Team United handbook, but I'm just going to express it and break it down differently. So still reiterating the same information, and I would highly advise you that if you have not taken the time to go through the Team United handbook, please do that. Now, X Factor training is designed to impact your mindset. Okay, impact your mindset. That's what X Factor theme is all about. Okay, because given the same mission statement that we have inside of Team United, given the same vision, given the same opportunities that we are part of, why is it that you would produce different results than me, or I might produce different results than my mentors, and so on and so forth? It's the X Factor, and that is you. Okay, so we're going to descramble you, and the whole point of getting that video was really to get you to see one area why you may not have been successful. Many of us define success differently. Okay, give me some of the ideas. How do you define success? Okay, let's just share with it, right? To give you an example, I might define success with the amount of money sitting in my bank account, right? Somebody might, you know, say that they're successful because they have written a book, right? How do you define success? Okay, let's share those ideas. All right, so Kenneth, whether you impacted somebody positively that day, reached the goals that you set for yourself, absolutely, Richard. Who else? There are many other people. Where are you guys? Let's go. Do the things I say I'm going to do. Okay, so that's, you know, being a matter of your word. Achieving a set goal. Goal size does not matter. Okay, very good. Okay, so those are just some of the ways that people measure success. You know, at the beginning of that video, Orpheus says, I define success by being better today than I was yesterday. So improving oneself. Absolutely, right? Those are the ways, and there's nothing wrong with defining success the way you want to define it. Okay? You will really want to know that, those are definitions set up by you, and that's why sometimes it's so important for Kenneth and myself who do team leader calls, that we really get to, when we're talking to a prospect, we really get to how is it that that prospect is defining success, so that we can help them position the Team United opportunity. So many people sometimes believe that success, once I've reached my goal, I will be happy. Okay? Once I have reached my goal of this, then I will be happy. Right? Many people I've heard of saying that, when I make my first $500, I'll be happy and more confident. Okay? Here's the thing. You guys have seen me do this many times, and I'm going to reiterate this because it's so important. I draw these 3 circles, right? And you want to see what is it that you're looking at. So there's the be, there's the do, and there's the have. Okay? So people talk about, I am going to be happy when I make $500, or when I launch my book. I'm going to be happy when I am successful, right? Here's the thing. This order actually doesn't work the other way around. It doesn't go have, do, be, right? It actually goes this way. There's big psychology inside of it. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but consider that some of the results that you may not have produced in your life may be the reason because you are not being that person who produces that result. Okay? If I want to be the best at, I was using the martial arts example. If I want to be the best at it, what kind of person puts in the work needed? What kind of person puts in the work needed to be or to become the best at his game, right? Or to have the trophy that he's competing for? What kind of person does that, right? Disciplined person, dedicated person. You can't be like, I'll be more disciplined once I have had my black belt, right? You're not going to get your belt if you are not being that disciplined person, that dedicated person committed to your art. If you're not being that, you're not getting your belt, or you're not having the success that you want, right? So a lot of times we've tied in many things, and one of the things that I wanted to tackle today was really the term, and that's why I had the quote and the video around it, was really happiness, okay? Sometimes we're just not happy. How many times have you really seen people walk across the stage and they'd be like, yeah, thank you, move on. Anyone who is successful has a certain enthusiasm, that has a certain flair, has a certain aura about it. You don't have to be bouncing all over the walls or anything like that, but there's a sense of happiness. There's a sense of satisfaction in one old self. There's a certain sense of confidence, right? It's not because they have the money so that they have the confidence. They were already a confident person. They were able to become that person, so they took the actions that were necessary to have the results. Again, going back to a training I had mentioned a couple of weeks back, Kenneth did a training on the personal success wheel. This B is all about belief, right? It's all about believing in something that you are doing, and that will cause some results. Have, right? Have. That's what that training is all about. So those of you who have not seen that training, I know Kenneth is going to be doing that training again, right, Kenneth? Because we found that a couple of weeks ago there's a need for that training again, a refresher to help people understand that personal success with how everything is driven. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about a few techniques and few tips for you to how to shift your state, how to be able to think differently, so that, because all the knowledge is in front of you. Everything is in front of you. You have access to coaching here. You have access to You have access to the training. You have access to other team members internationally for you to be able to help you move forward. So all those things are there. But there's one thing that somebody else can't give you. I cannot give you happiness. I cannot give you excitement. I cannot give you motivation, right? I can't give you all of that. That comes from inside of you. So how do you get to that point where you can actually, find out what your beliefs are, what's holding you back, right? What are certain of the limitations and all of that stuff? And I'm going to be using some of the material from this book here. Many of you might know this book called the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Okay, Master the Inner Game of Wealth by T. Harv Eker. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to be picking a couple of things, and we're just going to be tackling wealth file number 1 for those of you who have read it. But let's look at some of the steps for changing your thinking, okay? And I want you to, that's why I asked you to make notes, because I want you to apply them, okay? Don't just take these training. It was a great show, great fancy whiteboard and very good writing and all of that stuff. No, that's not what this is for. This is for you to be able to take things and go apply. Let's talk about the first element. In order for you to have change or cause change and shift from whatever you're being towards money, towards wealth, towards business, whatever it is that whoever you're being, let's just talk about this first element, which is awareness. Now, what are we talking about? Well, one of the things you want to focus on is you want to consider many of the ways of being and thinking that you have towards money. Not only just you, but also what kind of thoughts did you grow up around your parents? How are your parents talking about money? Okay, I'll give you an example. So you guys can jot those things down. How are you thinking about money? How are you thinking about wealth? How you think about happiness? And also, how were your parents thinking? Okay, so let's share a few. I'll tell you some of my stuff. I grew up in a very lack mentality, right? I grew up with, hold on, I think I need to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. All right. I grew up with a not so much of an abundant mindset around money. Whenever money was being talked about, it was very dark time. Like it was generally tension. It was generally around not having enough, and that's something that I grew up with. That impacted happiness as well inside of the family, because to me it seemed like that you need to have abundance of money in order for you to be happy. Watch what I said. Need to have abundance of money in order for you to be happy, right? And yeah, statements like money can never give you happiness and all of that stuff, well, yeah, it depends on your perspective, right? And all of that stuff, like many of us growing up in that kind of mindset, sometimes we don't let that go. Grew up being taught that money was necessary but could not make me happy. Grew up in a poor household and daily focus was to attain money, right? With my household was different than Kenneth's household and all of that stuff. See, money, here's the thing, money was never meant to make you happy. It was never, I don't know who got this idea from or who created this idea. I could never really find it. I think people just made it up. Money was never meant to make you happy. Money was to get you satisfied with the things that you want, get you comfortable, right? The more comfort that you want, the more money you want to make. It's not about your happiness. So I was able to create that disassociation after a long time. But how did that go about? The first thing is awareness, okay? Getting present to how it is that I'm thinking or how it is that my parents or people around me were thinking, Okay, that's the first step. So first step is awareness. How am I thinking, or how did I grow up thinking? The second element, dollars is in excess to get things done. Okay, very good. Understanding. Then you want to understand things. Write down the effect this modeling has made on your finances, on your financial life. You want to understand that this awareness that you got, this thinking that you have, how has that impacted your current financial life? Right? You can look at it that way. You can't have both dollar, huh? You can have both money and happiness. Okay. Yes, you can have money and happiness. You can once you get aware of how you're thinking, then you want to understand how it is that that thinking has impacted you. Okay, how has that impacted your financial life, and how it is that you look towards money? Okay, once you do that, the second thing that you want to do is disassociate that. That's where you could use coaching, modeling, speaking to other people, and all of that stuff. See, once I really got that money was not really meant to make me happy, my happiness lies inside of me. It's actually because as soon as I attach my happiness to, let's say, my laptop, I'm actually bound to be very disappointed, right? If I tie my happiness in my TV or in my house, I'm bound to be disappointed, right? So I'm happy because I have a great car, right? Now my happiness rests in a car. Sometimes we put our happiness in our kids and our spouses and all of that stuff. Well, how's that working out? How about putting your happiness in your control? Right? That's the behavior we're calling disassociation. Once you have understood the impact that you're thinking and the way you're looking at business, the way you're looking at happiness, and the way you're looking at money and wealth, how is that thinking, or those stories that we grew up with, how is that impacting me right now? That's number two. Now, once you really get that, then you want to disassociate it. You want to create a disconnection. Now, just by saying that, okay, I've disconnected it, it doesn't work, right? You really got to get to the disconnect. You got to surround yourselves with people. Get coaching, get advice, get mentoring. Inside of this team, you have everything. You want to associate with people who have different mindset, who have already disassociated, let's say, happiness and money, right? You want to be able to do that. My computer won't let me shut down updates. I'm going to shut. Well, hopefully Marissa's happiness is not in her computer. Okay, so we're bound to be if we rest our happiness outside, and that's what I disassociated with me. When I put my happiness inside of money, then you know what? I'm putting it outside of me. Now I don't have any control. So how about working on elements and bringing about being happy right here, so that, hey, something happens with the car, something happens with the laptop, everything outside of my control, then I'm still okay. We're going to talk about those elements in just a moment. Once you've created a disassociation, you're going to create a new thought pattern called declaration. Declare it. Declare it to the world. Here you have a team. Declare it to the team. Talk to your accountability partners inside of the team. We encourage highly that you plug into the bigger team. That's what this is all about. Plug into the bigger team, share your goals, share your new declarations, talk about your insecurities, or the talks, the mental chatter that you have about your money. Understand it, help each other identify those and create different patterns, right? And create disassociation between those patterns, and then declare new goals. Declare that from today, I am not tying my happiness, or I'm not doing this, I'm going to do this. Focus on what it is that you're going to do. Don't declare that you're not going to do something. Okay. What is it that you're going to do? How does your new future look like? Declaration lies within SMART goals. Okay. Who knows what SMART stands for? Okay. Type that in there. Disassociation can be easy as the old thinking fades by itself. See, that's a great point, Kenneth. That the old thinking phase itself, you gotta if you are in an environment that continuously reinforces that old thinking, it's going to be hard for you to disassociate from it. Not only you got to disassociate, you got to sometimes disassociate from that environment, and that's why the Team United environment offers you that. Okay, it's a new environment where possibilities exist, where new conversations can exist, and so on and so forth. There it is: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely goals. Okay, there you go. So declare new goals, take new accountabilities on, and that's what will help you to take your patterns, take your thinking patterns, take your association to money and wealth and all of that stuff, and and relocate them or associate them to new things. Okay, so those are just some of the elements. I'm not going to go too much in depth, but what I want to do is I want to cover the wealth file number 1, which deals with causing success because you are just happy, you're just fired up. Okay. And how's the snow in Myrtle Beach, Kenneth? Kenneth sent me a picture. It was snowing in Myrtle Beach. All right. So let's talk about the last portion of the training. I want to talk about wealth file number 1 in the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Wealth file number 1 talks about, how do you look at life? You either have a declaration that I create life, or you're declaring that life just happens to me. Okay, so there are two different distinct parts in it. You are either in charge and in control, that I create my life. Create my life. Or you are thinking that life just happens to you. Happens. Okay? So here are some of the ways for you to identify. But before I do that, let me bring in a subject matter expert. Hang on just for a second. I went through a lot of struggle to bring a subject matter expert in this to this training, to see how we can reinforce some of the and these people are generally happy all the time. So I thought why not get a perspective on how it is that we can be happy. Or what makes us happy. Okay, so I'm going to have, please give a big round of applause to my little girl. She's making her international training debut. So I will give her the headset and I will ask her the question. And the question that I'm going to ask her is, what if I'm feeling sad? How do I become happy? Okay, so you're going to answer that question. Here you go, baby.
Um, if if somebody's sad, if I ask them something to do and they do it, I can give them a little treat, but only one, because it's not good for your teeth, and when you're sleeping at night, they will bite your teeth. So that's why only one treat.
Okay, very good, very good. Excellent. Thank you so much, Eliza. That was great. Okay, you can go now. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time for being on our training. I hope you guys got that, okay, that if you're not feeling happy, you can get treats. and candies. And don't eat too much though, because the buggies will bite your teeth in the nighttime. So only one candy when you are not feeling happy. Okay, so I hope you take that and implement it into your businesses. I don't know what we're going to do about the weight gain from all the candy, but long live long live Trivita products. All right, all right. Wow, that took some work preparing her to do that. Small rewards, absolutely, man, absolutely. Okay, so let's come back here and talk about. So you either have a declaration that you are creating life, like you create your own life, you write your own book, you have things in control, and you're going to make it happen, or life is just happening to you. If you've got this kind of context, then I'll let you know that forget about building Team United business, forget about doing anything. Anybody who's done anything, it doesn't matter whether it's making money, inventing something, write a book, or anything like that, they've done it because they have declared that they create their life. Okay, that's wealth fund number one. So how do we go about seeing whether we have this kind of victim mentality that life's just happening to us, we don't have any control over it? So what are some of the elements around this? Welcome, Yola. All right, so let's look at one of the victim clue number one, that life is happening to you, is that you are blaming. Okay, do you find yourself that you are in a blame mode? Okay, so how many of you find yourself like, you're actually, something doesn't work out, you blame something? Okay, so first clue that life may be happening to you, or your context is that life happens to me, or that's your declaration, or subconsciously you're saying that you want to blame something, right? Now there's nothing, here's the thing, I want you to know this, that you want to be truthful to your own self. Okay, I don't care whether you write a note here or not, but you want to be true to yourself. When you're looking for opportunities to blame somebody, or when something doesn't work out, that you automatically point a finger somewhere, that's generally a sign subconsciously of what's going on inside, right? Nothing wrong with it. You can be that way and live your life, but blaming is generally one of that mindset that doesn't let you create anything, because things are never in your control. You're blaming somebody out there. So if you're doing that, that's becoming aware. Okay, what was the second element? Once we become aware of something, what is the second element? How do we dissect this whole thing? We talked about this. Number two, anybody? If you made notes, you know it. All right, so first thing is awareness, and second thing is, let's go. It's going to be Kenneth and Lisa again. Wow. Well, you know what? How about I stop the training right now? All right, let's talk about this. How you are taking on your training is a reflection of how your business is going as well, right? Consider that. Again, there's no truth to it or anything like that. I'm sure there are other things happening and some of you had to leave and everything like that, right? But I really want you to see for yourselves. It doesn't make a difference to me, to Kenneth, to anybody else, or your team members or anything like that. I just want you to simply evaluate yourself, okay? Trainings are not a one-way conversation. It's never has been. If you want a lecture, we can do a lot of lectures. But when you come to training, you are coming to get the information and participate in it so that you get the information more, right? Does that make sense? Right? Does it make sense what I'm saying? That as you participate in the training, you will learn more of it, okay? So the training is not going to go anywhere if there's no participation on the other side. I can easily just give you a reference to an online document where you'll find the book and you can go read it, right? So the whole objective is really to give you an insight on not only just reading information, to be able to break it down for you and help you connect it to your business so that you can be successful, because again, that's how I'm treating you, right? Because I'm assuming that you want to be successful at whatever it is that you've taken on. In 2014, you have some aggressive goals for yourself. Okay? So, yes, thank you, Kenneth and Lisa. Okay, understanding. Okay, understanding is the second element. So we've got the first one is awareness. Second is understanding. Okay, once we understand that if we're blaming, okay, every time something happens and we're blaming or we're finding opportunities to blame, we're not really taking control of anything that we want to do. So life always happens to us. It's never our fault, right? So blame is one of the areas you can identify that, hey, you know what? I've actually found myself doing that, or you might not do that all the time. You only do it in certain areas, okay? So you may want to tackle those areas. So you want to understand what is the impact that particular piece is having on you or on your business or on the way you look at business or on the way you make money. Okay, so that was victim clue number 1. Okay, victim clue number 2. I love this one. Victim clue number 2 talks about you are constantly justifying. Okay, you're justifying yourself. You're justifying yourself on what decisions you're making, what you're saying, and all of that stuff. I used to have that. I had that, and I think Kenneth still recognizes it. At some level, I have that, right? Justifying your actions all the time and making explanation, and then having other people approve whether you can take on your own life, right? Right? So justifying is really, again, yeah, providing explanation and all that stuff, that's fine, but justifying yourself and then waiting for other people to approve it, right, really doesn't give you any power. Then life just happens to you. You become a victim all of a sudden now because I'm blaming, I'm justifying myself. You notice that sometimes you say something to people and they get very defensive all of a sudden, right? And something comes out of them and you're like, whoa, I didn't say anything, right? Like you never meant for that to happen, and it felt like sometimes for people, the world comes at them differently. You have to see whether or not the world comes at you in a way that it's attacking you. Kenneth says something or I say something, does it come out to you as we're attacking you, right? Because we could say the same thing to another person and they might not feel it as an attack, right? It's because maybe this is going on underneath. Okay, so you want to become aware of it. Not my fault. Right. You want to become aware of it, and then you want to understand what impact it has on you, what impact it has on your business, and be able to create a disassociation. How do you do that? By connecting with your teammates, talking about it, and making sure you put new things in place so that you can create new declarations. When you create declarations, don't talk about that I am not going to do that. I am not going to justify myself anymore. No, that's not a declaration. Okay? Declaration is what you want. Go towards what you want, not what you don't want to have. Have you ever seen, like, I don't want debt, and then debt shows up in your life? What's the psychology there? Talk about things and enroll people and talk about, have conversations for the things that you want, not what you don't want. Okay? Hey class, welcome. All right, so that was victim clue number 2, justifying. Okay. Victim clue number 3. Okay, complaining. I'm complaining about stuff. I don't like this about Trivita. I don't like that about Talk Fusion. Team United does this. Team United does that. Class looked at me this way. Kenneth, I don't like him, right? I'm not causing success because, I don't know, shipping charges are high, right? Stuff like that. That's what is keeping you away as well. This is complaining. Do you find that you have a lot of complaints in your life of people, of things, of the choices that you've made, right? Do you find yourself complaining about your car, about your TV, and all of that stuff? See, when you're complaining, you become a living, breathing crap magnet. Okay? So it says that when you are complaining, you become a living, breathing crap magnet. I'm not making it up. It's right here. See, right there. Right? So don't be that magnet. Don't attract the thing that you, because if your mindset is always around complaining and you're always looking for opportunities to complain, or you feel like you have more to complain about in your life, then guess what, the all the things will line up so that you can keep complaining, because that's your reality, right? This, I wasn't too much of a complainer, but I had certain bits of it. Totally eliminated it. Like I don't complain about things. Like it's not, it doesn't show up. Right. So if you complain about money, that story will always be there. You'll always have opportunities about complaining for money or complaining about money. You never open the gates for for abundance of money coming in. Complaining of money is not a conversation you want to keep on if you expect to have plenty of it. You want to talk about the abundance of it. That doesn't help ever. Yeah. You want to talk about abundance of it, or whatever it is that your story around it, you want to talk about, you want to shift that. It takes work. That's why you go through the pieces. You want to go through awareness. You want to go to number 2, understanding. Number 3 was what? Hopefully somebody can write it in there. All right, number 3 was disassociation, absolutely. And number 4, finally, is declaration. Okay, the last one. That's why that pattern is given, so that you can identify it, create an impact, disassociation, and then a new declaration and belief around it. Okay, so that was your victim mentality number 3. Okay, let's. So those are the 3 things that you wanna talk that you want to get aware of and see whether they are present in your life. Okay, and there's, some people might say that, what, I could have that and I could still be rich, or I could still be wealthy and all of that stuff. Well, just know that there's no such thing as a really rich complaining person, right? There's no such thing. So make sure that you identify those areas. If these 3 things are present in your life, learn to tackle them. Learn to get coaching on them. Team United has made themselves, like Kenneth, myself, who made ourselves available so that we can help you get unstuck. Do you want to have a mentorship? I mean, there's no better person like Kenneth to be able to advise you on what it is that you need to do in order to have the results. Talk to me. I mean, I do a lot of personal development stuff on myself that, I can speak with you. Some things that have worked for me, I can kind of suggest it to you, and those repeated over time can help you get to whatever it is that you want. Okay? So, having said that, guys, that's what I wanted to cover. So the reason why you're not taking the actions and you may not have some creative pulse going on and imaginative, and you're not a problem solver, is just, sometimes we have certain beliefs that we're holding inside of us. You want to start evaluating how it is that you're looking at money. You want to start evaluating how it is that you are holding the context around business. Why is it so hard for you to take actions? You might not be taking action. You already know what you need to do, but you're not doing them.